Alright guys, I'm out here looking for snakes. We've got some of the first nice weather we've had since, well, a long time. It's probably I guess it's the second week in March now. This is the first time we've had weather that is, well, I guess it's finally up into the 60s and not raining for the first time in months. But anyway, so I was just getting started, thought I'd check out this rock wall, and well, we found this guy. And if you've ever seen a snake in Alabama, there's a great chance it was one of these. This is one of the most commonly seen snakes, not just in Alabama, but really in a lot of the country, especially the southeast or the east. This is in Alabama, we call them a gray rat snake. There's a lot of variation throughout their range, different subspecies. This one is now, depending on which book you consult, is either Pantherophis spiloides, I guess, or Pantherophis obsoletus. But either way, it's a gray rat snake. This particular one looks like he's had a long, rough winter, in bad need of a shed. He's in blue, he's dirty, he's very dull looking. But these guys can get up. It's not rare to find them up to 6 feet long. Records, some of the subspecies have been found over 8 feet. Probably the biggest ones I've ever seen, maybe a little over 6. This one's pretty big actually. He's I'd say he's at least 5.5. He's maybe close to 6 feet himself. But totally harmless. They eat a lot of rats. That's why they're called rat snakes. They're commonly found around people's chicken coops and farms and barns. They're best left alone. They will eat a chicken egg. They'll feed on baby birds and eggs in the spring, but the bulk of their diet is rats, and they do more harm than good, even if you have chickens. So for some reason, sometimes people confuse these with copperheads. I'm not sure why. They look absolutely nothing like a copperhead, but I guess just basically any snake that a person finds tends to be a copperhead. But as you can see, these guys are, in this part of the range, are generally kind of a grayish color, sometimes brownish, with darker saddles on their back. So some parts of the range they can be solid black, and further south they can be a lot lighter gray. But totally harmless snakes. They can be a little bitey. If you pick one up, it'll bite you. If you walk past it, it'll act just like it's acting right here, if it doesn't try to run away. This one's cold, warming up. Like I said, he looks like he's had a rough winter. His eyes are blue, he needs to shed. Got mud all over him. He has come out of this hole in these rocks over here. I'll try not to disturb him too much, because he's doing what he needs to do. You can see he came out of there, where his tail is. But they're super cool snakes, totally harmless, and probably the most common snake you'll see in Alabama, other than maybe water snakes. But just leave them alone and they'll eat your rats for you. Okay guys, I was out here looking for, specifically trying to find timber rattlesnakes. I've probably been here a couple of hours. Started to give up. Starting to think I wasn't going to have any luck. And I stepped up on this rock and was looking around in this brush pile, and then I heard a buzzing sound to my left. I don't know if you can see that guy. That is Crotalus horridus, the timber rattlesnake. Super cool animals. As you can see, He's kind of halfway out from under this rock, and I'm maybe 5 feet from him. I'm not sure why he's yawning right now, but I'd like to get a little closer, but as soon as I try to get closer, he's gonna zip up under this rock because he doesn't want anything to do with me. While these are obviously venomous snakes and dangerous, and you know, you have to watch out, and you don't want to get bitten by them, but they don't want anything to do with people. As you can see, he's about to slide up under the rock. He's easing on under there, moving his head. There he is, though. I'm gonna try to just be still. He rattled one time. He was like, "Don't come over here and step on me." And unfortunately, these guys are pretty heavily persecuted by anybody that finds them. They're almost always killed. Because of that, and some other factors like habitat destruction is a really big one. But there's also some problems with a fungal disease that's going through snakes. But they're on the decline throughout almost their whole range. There might be some turkey hunters in the south that are going to disagree with that, but that's largely because if you go out in the spring when these guys are just starting to emerge from their winter dens, they tend to be kind of concentrated in certain areas. So it's not that there's a lot, but if you're in the right place, you can find quite a few of them sometimes. This is perfect habitat where I am. I've been looking for 2 hours specifically to find one, and this is the first one I found. So it depends on where you are. If you see a lot of them, you're lucky, in my opinion. Some people might say unlucky, but there's not a lot of places where these things are common anymore. As a matter of fact, I grew up in an area maybe 60-70 miles from here. Same type of habitat. Never saw a single one my entire first 20 years of my life living over there, at least not in that area. There just happens to be a population of them left on this particular mountain, and there's a few other places throughout northern Alabama where there's a fair amount of them, but they're not common in most of their range. But anyway, these guys are that's a pretty common size right there. Pretty average size adult, maybe small adult, I would say. They can get up. That one maybe 4 feet. They can get 5 feet. I believe the record is somewhere around 6. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's somewhere around there. They're not as big as the eastern diamondback, but they can get pretty impressive, and they're very, very thick snakes as well. A 4-foot snake can be, have a very large diameter, 4 or 5 inch diameter. These snakes eat mostly rodents. They'll eat a lot of chipmunks and squirrels. They'll eat small rabbits, rats. The smaller ones will eat mice, things like that. And it's a shame that so many of them are killed. I understand. I don't want one living under my front steps. However, if you come out here in nature to see nature, that's a very cool part of it right there. It's kind of like going to Yellowstone and shooting every bear you see. It doesn't really make sense. I'm not sure what the end goal is. I mean, I don't think people really consider what they're doing. I mean, if you're out in nature, are you hoping to exterminate them all? I mean, some people might say yes, but unless you do, you always need to be watching where you put your hands and feet anyway. So killing one doesn't change that. And all you have to do when you see one like this is just walk around it. I'm trying not to move because he's going to go under that rock to avoid me. That's what he's doing now. I would show you how close you can get to them with no issues. I mean, obviously you don't want to get within their strike range, but if they're not going to come after you. As long as you don't start poking them with a stick, you're under zero danger. Just always watch where you put your hands and feet, and you'll be fine. If you see one, take 2 steps to the left and go around it. It's not difficult. They're super cool snakes. Like I said, very much on the decline, and I wish that they weren't. And I'm sorry, my phone's going all over, my camera's going all over the place. The sun is on the display, and I really can't see what I'm focused on very well. I actually think he may be trying to shed. He keeps kind of opening his mouth and rubbing his nose against things. But I'm going to get a little closer because I know everybody wants to hear him buzz his tail. But hopefully we can do that without him going under the rock, but we'll see. So here we go. I'm probably, 5 feet from him now. I'm going to go around this rock here and get down there beside him, see what happens. Hopefully without stepping on his friend. So there he is. He's not even buzzing his tail. I think he's kind of hoping we don't see him, or either that or he thinks we're not going to hurt him, which is completely true. Maybe my camera is about 3 feet from him right now. That's how dangerous they are. He's not in a position to strike. This one's fairly small and couldn't reach this far anyway. But super cool snakes. I guess I didn't mention they come in a lot of kind of a polymorphic as far as colors. They can be, this one's fairly standard, kind of a light tan with the chevron shapes over its back. They can be anywhere from like a golden yellow all the way through all shades of gray and black, almost solid black. Very beautiful snakes. This one's just come out of hibernation or brumation, and a little dull in color, but still gorgeous. Like I said, cool snakes. We'll just leave them alone. And we're gonna leave him alone. Alright, passing back by, headed back to the truck or Jeep. There's a little bit better shot of him. He's kind of moved out a little bit. Again, cool snakes, not going to bother him too much. Headed to the house.